It's November, and we're right into the high school football playoffs, week 2, and we got district semifinals and 4 games we want to concentrate on. The first one would be Kirkwood at Eureka. 2 excellent teams. This is a rematch of a game that was played about 3 weeks ago in which Eureka defeated Kirkwood 42-28 in a game that had great momentum swings. That game was at Kirkwood. This time Eureka will have the home field advantage as the #1 seed, but Kirkwood looking for some revenge. Looking forward to seeing that one. Another big game, Pattonville will play the Smet. Now last year, Pattonville was a district, or I should say a state runner-up in Class 5. Now they moved up to Class 6 this year, District 1, and they defeated Marquette last week, 21-17, in a very tough game. They came back. Waiting for them, though, is a very strong Smet team. Now, they're the #2 seed, and they're a team that's really made a nice turnaround under the leadership of Robert Steeples. Done an excellent job. They won 3 games last year, 2 games the previous year, but now they're strong. They were 7-2, looking very good. A lot of firepower on that team. Should be a good game. And on Saturday, back in Missouri, Parkway North will visit MICDS in a Class 4 District 3 semifinal game. MICDS is 8-1, having an excellent season. Their only loss by 1 point to a powerful Lutheran North team in a game which went right down to the wire. A 2-point conversion settled the game. Parkway North playing for its coach Bob Bunton, who's calling it quits, retiring after a great career as a teacher and coach at Parkway North. They lost their first 3 games, but they've won 6 of their last 7, and they're riding a real hot streak going into the district playoffs. So that should be a very interesting contest at MICDS. Moving over to the east side, East St. Louis. A strong game to open the playoffs, the Class 7A playoffs against Hoffman Estates. They'll go on the road now to play against undefeated Glenbard East out of the Chicago area. East St. Louis is 8-2, Glenbard East is 10-0. Both teams can put a lot of points on the board. Should be a shootout in suburban Chicago. Of course, if you want to continue to follow playoffs, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Earl Austin Jr., #EarlTimeUpdate. Now, folks, it's time, you know what it is, it's time for those St. Louis American shout-outs. We're just going to do players this week. A lot of very talented individuals really did a nice job. First, a young lady from Lafayette High School named Staciana, a volleyball player, an explosive athlete, and one of the best hitters in the St. Louis metropolitan area. She led the Lancers, who will be in the Class 4 Final Four in Cape Girardeau this weekend. She led them to excellent in the quarterfinals. She had big performances in victories over Ursuline Academy and Koryezu Academy. Excellent player, Staciana Stock. On football, Darrius Cooper, junior quarterback from Hazelwood West. He had 292 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns, and leading the Wildcats to a come-from-behind 20-14 victory over Hazelwood Central in the first round of the Class 6 District 1 playoffs. A role reversal, of course, earlier this season, Hazelwood Central came from behind from an early deficit to beat Hazelwood West, but Cooper able to lead the Wildcats to the next round where they'll play a great CBC team. Sam Sanderson out of Pattonville High School. You've heard his name before, an excellent running back at 208 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 21-17 victory over Marquette. He scored all of the points as Pattonville came back from a 14-7 deficit late and pulled the victory out. And of course, they'll play the Smet on Friday night. And congratulations to young Travion Ford, a sophomore defensive end from Lutheran St. Charles. He recorded his 17th sack of the season last weekend in a victory over Soldan in District by the Class 3 District 5 play. And he becomes the single-season record holder at Lutheran St. Charles for quarterback sacks with 17. And he still has games to play. This is a very talented young man, already being recruited by several major conferences all around the country. And finally, Isaiah Strong out of Miller Career Academy. He was a dynamo on defense in a victory over John Burroughs last Saturday. He had 3 sacks and a couple of other tackles for losses. Did an excellent job in leading the Phoenix to that big victory as they move on to the next round against undefeated Cardinal Ritter. So that's a look at the St. Louis Sports Break for this week. Make sure to continue to follow us in the paper and every Thursday and online at stlamerican.com.